We all know that breakfast is the most important meal of the day, and if you want to have a productive day, you shouldn't skip it. Over the years, many have made efforts to make this important meal quick to prepare and equally nutritious, but you might be surprised to learn that some of our go to breakfast items have been around for quite a while now. Take a step back and let me take you through a variety of breakfast foods that were popular around when you were born, or even decades before. Let's see which one you are familiar with and how long these foods have been around for. Hash, 1910s. World War I in the 1910s did not only make crippling memories, but also indulgent ones. You'd be surprised to know that hash has been around for a long time now, over a century. This delicious and filling breakfast meal was considered a typical start to your day as it was made using leftovers and other ingredients that were in hand during that time, considering the food shortage and overall lack of ingredients. But today, on how times have changed, we've got a hash that is prepared with extra ingredients like potatoes, meat, onions, seasoning, and other extra savory flavors. Bacon and eggs, 1920s. Enter the 1920s, a time where nutrition was named as a necessity and people needed to be mindful of what they ate.
Two hamburgers with just pickles, two cheeseburgers with another cheeseburger, everything on them, four more hamburgers with everything, a cheeseburger with no.
Or are you surprised to see bacon and eggs on this timeline? You're not the only one. Want to know something even more? The dynamic duo was actually consumed more in the US alone than other countries combined in the whole world. Added with coffee as a beverage, it was a huge hit. Marketed in most commercials as a breakfast that is easy to make and nutritious too, this scrumptious meal was kept at the top of the meal chain because of its high protein and healthy fat content, which is obviously what you should eat when you start your day. Crispies, 1930s. As the times changed, we witnessed what the generation had as their breakfast. Well, in the 1930s, we were introduced to this crunchy and light breakfast choice that was first introduced by Kellogg's in the 1930s, and it is still finding its way to your dining table even now. Why? Because it's super filling and gives just the perfect crunch in every bite. You're sure to see Crispies in a bowl filled with milk. And if you're feeling extra, some drizzled honey or even added syrup can make this a delicious meal. Are you relating to this? Here's another meal that you've totally had for breakfast before. Cereal and OJ, 1940s. You get up in the morning and you're headed to the kitchen to find yourself a bowl, a box of cereal and milk.
That's not the kitchen.
Well, we're all familiar with this scene right here, but we've also added OJ or orange juice to the menu too. You'd be surprised to know that this go-to breakfast has been around since the 1940s. You heard that right. It was actually marketed as the complete breakfast, as it claimed to have just the right amount of all nutrients to start your day. Pancakes and waffles, 1950s. Ever watched those commercials that make you drool over soft and moist pancakes drizzled with maple syrup? Those have been around since the 1950s. Thanks to Betty Crocker's pancake mix, it became an instant hit. When it comes to breakfasts that are quick to make, it sure checks out, with the added bonus that it's not only delicious to taste but super filling as well. Waffles, on the other hand, are also super easy to make. It's usually made using the same batter that you use for pancakes and cooked in a waffle maker machine to give you that shape and design. Their shape is just right to soak up all that extra maple syrup and can be the perfect sweet start to your day. Pop-Tarts and Egg Benedict. 1960s. We all loved Pop-Tarts as a child. It was almost everyone's favorite, but if you're a millennial, you'll learn that this breakfast option was there even before you were born. Pop-Tarts first hit the shelves in 1964, but they looked a little different. Though they had their signature rectangular shape, they didn't have that deliciously hard frosting on top. Today you'll find Pop-Tarts in a variety of flavors, so the next time you have a Pop-Tart for breakfast, feel privileged to be keeping the legacy alive.
Okay.
Egg Benedicts are also arguably one of the most well-loved dishes ever created. Why? Because it's not egg, bread, ham, and a delicious sauce, preferably made with Dijon mustard, lemon juice, egg yolks, and cayenne pepper that perfectly blends well with your breakfast to give it a whole new level of flavor and taste. But how did this genius combination even become a breakfast item? Let me shed some light. This breakfast option was first made in the 1960s. As easy it is to make, the sauce holds the key to opening the flavors of the meal, so you'll probably find this dish on the menu cards in other food outlets. Granola and oats, 1970s. The 70s was really an interesting time for healthy foods. Popular home magazines were touting recipes using things like soy and granola, which obviously had the widest appeal when it came to nutritious choices. Oats and granola was marketed in the 1970s as a breakfast rich in fiber, protein, and vital vitamins, which became an instant hit as the masses were more interested in knowing how they wanted to keep themselves healthy. Even to this day and age, you'll still be able to find tons of commercials that market oats and granola as the choicest breakfast option. But on a whole new level, we've got granola bars, oat crisps, and there's a lot more. Though it sure does make you crave for a sugary and delicious meal, it does keep you feeling fuller for longer while also having the perfect balance of nutrients to ensure that you have a body that is fit and strong. Tofu and toaster strudels, 1980s. Now we enter a whole new generation of chemicals and additives, but hey, nobody is complaining. In an average American breakfast table, you'll find novelty cereals, frozen breakfasts, and diet light low-cal everything, which kind of became the sustenance choice for breakfast. It was at this time that Tofutti hit the shelves. In 1985, Pillsbury toaster strudels got famous, and so did the healthy choice frozen meals. In 1989, they looked delicious and tasted much better than just pancakes, which also explains the rush. What also instigated the hype of Tofutti and toaster strudels were the cookbooks available at that time. These cookbooks offered a list of breakfast menus that featured tofutti, eggs, stuffing casseroles, toaster strudels with bacon or sausage, and spiced coffee. I don't know about you, but that's one breakfast item that I can have for every meal. Breakfast on the go. And 1990s. Let's be honest, the meals we ate in the 90s were questionable. Who can forget the overprocessed, brightly colored, probably frozen, and just plain weird meals of your youth? Play some NSYNC and put on your favorite choker because we're about to throw it back to the most iconic meals that you probably ate for breakfast.
Okay.
The 90s gave us a whole lot of options. There were pizza rolls, mac and cheese, bagels, hot and lean pockets, and so much more. An easy breakfast option that doesn't require you to cook. All credits goes to how it's made. Just rip out the pack and dig in. That's why we've labeled this as breakfast on the go. And of course, I can't miss out on a few home-cooked meals like scrambled eggs, French toast, sandwiches, and pancakes, which were still a thing back then. Everything kale. In the early 2000s, kale smoothies, low-carb everything, and cupcakes became pop culture-fueled food trends. Of course, eating healthy is not a new concept, but when plant-based drinks caught on, it seemed to unleash a resurgence in health consciousness. Soon, everyone stopped eating gluten and started eating kale. Enter a new breakfast choice, green smoothies. According to Smoothie King, plant-based smoothies garnered national attention in 2004, and for good reason. They're tasty, healthy, nutrient-dense, and easy to make. Of course, not all smoothie nutrients are the same. Each differs depending on what it's made of, but with a healthy base of leafy greens and the addition of protein and fruit, it's a good start to your day. Also, if you are at least semi-conscious and a meat eater in the 2000s, you probably ingested a bacon donut, a bacon martini, or a bacon milkshake. That's because bacon was also in everything. Avocado and toast, 2010s. If you haven't heard of avocado toast, then you're probably older or not into healthy food. But yes, the avocado toast is the rage of the 2010s. The cult favorite meal is not only delicious and nutritious, but it also makes for an excellent Instagram post. So keep up, because we're now a health-conscious society once again. We've always sought out to replace one green food with another, and we succeeded. The internet became obsessed with avocado toast. The simple breakfast went viral and never really lost lost its steam. Though other foods have taken its place as the most popular choice for breakfast, there are still plenty of people making it for their morning meal. The moral of the story here: food trends come and go, but eggs, pancakes, and bacon are forever. Did you find your go-to breakfast from the video? Would you want to try out a new breakfast meal you haven't had yet? Tell us in the comments below. To watch more interesting videos like this, follow our channel, hit the like button if you found this truly exciting, and share it amongst your friends. Don't keep such an interesting video to yourself, and don't forget to hit that bell icon to know every update of our next upcoming videos.